Hey guys, for starters, happy Inauguration Day. We've all waited a very, very long time for this. It's almost surreal that it's here. It's been great today. Lots of executive orders to sign. Oh, the future is going to be bright, guys. It's going to be great. However, today's video is for a little bit of a different purpose. You know, as I said, there's several channels out there like me that are smaller channels that do the same thing. They do the Liberal Meltdown videos, speak about some politics and whatnot. I've come across several times now other content creators using my content. Now, I'm not here to complain. I am a little bit, but we'll get to that in a second. Somebody wants to grab a clip or whatnot, no problem. We've all done it. If I've done it myself, you can see it in one of my videos where I snagged a clip off of red channels. However, I've come across channels that are using my videos in their entirety. I've let it go. I mean, they're just compilation videos, so, you know, it wasn't the biggest deal. There was some extra work put into it. As you guys see, I do have a very different style of presenting these clips than most people do. However, yesterday, I came across one that was pushing it a little bit too far, and now we got to put this, what we thought was a content creator, on blast. You can all guess who it is just from the intro. Yep, this guy here, anonymous conservative. Dude's a complete fraud. Complete fraud. 4 weeks ago, he took this video of mine. 3 weeks ago, this video. I left it be. Again, they were just compilation. I had no commentary in them whatsoever. I've had other videos that from other content creators that have taken my videos with commentary on it, remove the commentary, and they kind of mix up the video and do their own thing, although they're still using my video in its entirety, but they've made it their own. That, unfortunately, is not the case here, and sorry, anonymous conservative, but you did this to yourself, man. I'm putting you out there. I'm exposing you. I truly believe that your whole channel is fraudulent. Yesterday, you put out, which would be my video, this one. Now, not only did you use the compilation, again, that's no problem there. If you want to use a compilation, use a compilation. I don't own the TikTok clips. I do obviously have intellectual property over what I've done with certain ones of them, but I definitely have intellectual property over my commentary. And what he has done, he, she, we don't know who he is. Again, the channel's a complete fraud. If you look, it's just nothing but a constant loop. It's an AI created individual. I mean, the video is a 6-second loop of an AI creation. The pop filter on this individual's microphone is not connected to the boom arm or the desk. It's just floating in the middle of the air. And he uses an AI voice. Okay, so you don't have to have yourself on video. You can do that. You can have an AI video and run a faceless video. But what this guy's been doing, and you know exactly what you've been doing, anonymous conservative, is taking my talking points, not just myself, you've done it to other channels as well. Let's just say I'm the type of person, I really like to do investigations, I like to debunk things, I like to really dig deep to see what other dirt I'll find. It gets me kind of warm and giddy inside. It's a little fuzzy feeling. And when I went on your channel, oh yeah, I got a real fuzzy feeling. I've been subscribed to you for a little while now. I've subscribed to all the other guys that do what we do. You are a thief. Not just to me. You did it to red channels as well. You didn't even change the thumbnail. Another channel I came across, a newer YouTuber that goes by the name of Just Saying. You did it to him as well. You snagged his whole video and his thumbnail, and you claim it to be yours. What you pissed me off yesterday is you even stole my commentary. My comment points, my talking points. Now, it's not very hard to take my talking points, throw it in ChatGPT and get them to mix it up, but I think it's a little bit improbable that there's going to be over 100 coincidences in a 27-minute video. I'm going to expose you now. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to play back my video from 6 days ago, side by side with the video that this guy just uploaded yesterday. We're going to fast forward through it, though. I'm not going to have you guys sit here rewatch a video that you've already seen on my channel and on this guy's channel. But I am going to ask you guys to watch through till the end and look at the commentary. Look at the keywords I say, and then I'm going to play him right after and look at the keywords he's saying. I can tell you right now, this guy doesn't even know his politics, because there's certain things that he says that you can tell he just took it from straight out of the AI and didn't even question what the AI gave back to him, because some things just don't make sense. You have to have a sharp ear to really catch it, but you do not have to have a sharp ear to see that he blatantly ripped off my talking points. Let's get into it.
So Trump supporters have been telling us for months that Donald Trump is going to be able to lower prices. Now Trump says he can't lower prices. You played yourself.
Again in my entire life, another question about felony charges on either a job application or a lease application ever again in my life.
Now, everything that she just named off there that a felon can no longer do, such as be on a jury, have a license for a gun, carry a firearm, license to drive, Trump doesn't do any of those things anyways. So I'm pretty sure he's good. And this felony charges, they're not going to last. It will end up being overturned. There were so many reversible errors. I brought this up before in that court case. There were so many reversible errors. It was ridiculous. But these guys just want to stick to it, stick to it, stick to it. They just want to call him a convicted felon for as long as they can. And the truth is, Dr. Phil brought this up. It looks like Juan Merchan might have maybe unintentionally did Trump a favor by actually sentencing him. Because if he just threw the case away, this would have stuck on Trump's shoulders for the rest of his life. They would have semi-smeared him the rest of his life. Now that he's been convicted, he can actually overturn it. He can appeal and overturn it and have it lifted and removed and gone and done, and the smear jobs are gone. All those indictments they threw at him, not one of them stuck. It's beautiful.
Now, everything she just rattled off, like a felon not being able to serve on a jury, own a gun, or even drive. Let's be real, Trump wasn't lining up for jury duty, polishing his Glock collection, or moonlighting as an Uber driver anyway. So yeah, he's good. These felony charges? Please. They're like dollar store duct tape, completely useless and coming off any minute. The so-called case was a carnival of incompetence. Reversible errors? That courtroom was like a clown car, except less entertaining and somehow more chaotic. It's like they were playing a game of how many legal mistakes can we cram into one trial? Spoiler, they hit the high score, but hey, they're clinging to that convicted felon label like it's a limited edition collector's item. They're milking it for all it's worth. Pathetic. And then Dr. Phil, yes, Dr. Phil of all people, swoops in with a hot take that's actually correct for once. The judge might have accidentally done Trump a solid by convicting him. Why? Because throwing the case out would have left the haters with a lifetime pass to smear him with baseless accusations. Instead, they handed Trump a golden ticket to appeal, overturn, and wipe the floor with their incompetence. It's poetic, really. They tossed every indictment they could at him, hoping something would stick, and guess what? Nada. Zilch. It's like throwing spaghetti at a wall and ending up with clean tiles. Beautiful. Now Trump gets to strut out of this mess, while they're left holding their empty bag of failed smear campaigns, wondering where it all went wrong. Classic.
Will hold the highest position in the country in just a matter of days. Make it make sense.
Well, I'm going to try and make it make sense. First of all, I just would love to thank these libtards for how they just keep putting out such splendid content. Like, they find a reason to complain about everything. It's fantastic. The next 4 years are going to be great. But what she failed to mention is, yeah, okay, her dad was a convicted felon. What did he do? I'm willing to bet that it was more than what Trump did. Trump, what did he have? A misdemeanor that they times 34 times and then attached an underlying crime to it that nobody knows what that crime was because the jury got to choose their own adventure. And that was the only way to bring that crime to life and turn it into an actual felony because it was a misdemeanor. It was one misdemeanor times 34 receipts. Pretty ridiculous. I guarantee you this woman does not even know that. She's got no idea what he was charged for. It's just going to be a bookkeeping thing and hush money. That's all they can say is hush money. Stormy Daniels was actually useless to even bring into that trial. It was just to smear Trump during the trial to try and make him look dumb.
Well, let's stretch this circus into a full-blown festival of stupidity, shall we? First off, hats off to these brain-dead complainers. Seriously, their knack for whining is unmatched. They'd find a reason to cry if a butterfly sneezed in their general direction. It's like they've turned victimhood into an Olympic sport. Gold medals all around for Team Libtard. And oh, Daddy Dearest was a felon. Shocking. I mean, color me not surprised. She conveniently skips over why he's got a rap sheet thicker than her IQ points. But sure, let's just throw that little tidbit out there like it's a badge of honor. Now, let's talk Trump. These clowns want to blow a misdemeanor into some Hollywood-level scandal, multiplying it 34 times like they're doing some janky algebra for dummies. Choose your own adventure, jury, huh? What's next? A game of pin the crime on the orange guy. And yet, they act like they've cracked the Da Vinci Code of Justice. The funniest part? This walking meme of a woman probably can't even spell misdemeanor, let alone understand what Trump's charged with. For her, it's all about orange man bad, because thinking deeper than a puddle is way too much effort. And hush money? Oh, please. That's their big smoking gun? Stormy Daniels, the world's most useless trial cameo, was dragged into this for no reason other than to give these jokers something to point at while shouting, "Look, scandal." It's not just a stretch, it's yoga-level mental gymnastics. The best part of all this? Watching them trip over their own nonsense while patting themselves on the back like they've saved democracy. Keep it coming, folks. You're the comedic relief we never knew we needed.
I just want to point out here real quick. You know the crying scenes that has the guitar music under it? You guys notice that they're kind of like all over the place on YouTube now? Each and every one of those, I make those. I'm not sure if these guys understand. I mean, again, there's no problem if they want to use it. But each and every one of those that has the Lee Greenwood music behind an individual crying or looking off somewhere feeling sorry for themselves, that's me that does that.
Candidate that has the R next to their name is hurting everyone. It's not just hurting those people anymore, it's hurting Republican voters too.
All right, so here's another one of your typical pandering white women talking about how white people are so bad, which is kind of ridiculous. I'll be honest with you guys. I grew up in a multicultural neighborhood. I've never had any form of privilege. I've never lived in a house. I've lived in apartments my whole life. We've never had money in my family. We're not poor, but we've never had money. This white privilege thing, I'm sorry, but to somebody like me, it doesn't exist. I'm not ashamed of my skin color whatsoever. So people like this can go screw themselves. And it's absolutely selfish of her to say that white people always tend to just vote for the white guy with the R beside his name. That is absolutely not true. I've seen so many white idiots that are like, their nose is so far up the Democrats' butt, it's ridiculous. Now, over several decades, the Democrat Party has pandered to the black vote. And yes, they've had, I would say, majority of the wins when it comes to elections, but they've taken the black voters for granted. They make them all these promises, how they're going to start fixing up their neighborhoods and whatnot, and they never do it. Once they get in office, they never do it. And what the sad thing is, 4 years later, the black population falls for it again, and then again, and then again. So what happened this time around? Some of them woke up. The black and brown voters woke up. Thank God. And what's going to happen by 2028? More of them are going to wake up. What's pitiful to see is how white people are trying to nosedive and bring back this whole racial culture, which seem to be really dimming down. I've never had to live through any racial culture myself. Never had a problem in my neighborhood with anybody. But it's the white people that are trying to bring back the racial culture, and they're trying to put themselves under the shoe. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense at all, but hey, let them keep doing what they're doing, because 2028, JD Vance.
All right, look, another virtue signaling white woman acting like she's got a doctorate in guilt and a minor in pandering. Seriously, it's getting exhausting watching these people play martyr for problems they didn't even experience. You grew up with a 4-bedroom house and a golden retriever named Buddy Karen. Spare me the sob story. Now, I'm not saying my life was a cakewalk, but let's be real. I grew up dodging roaches in my apartment, not sipping matcha lattes while rediscovering racism on TikTok. Privilege? Please. My family didn't even know what savings accounts were until I hit high school. But sure, let's pretend white privilege magically applies to everyone with pale skin, even if they're living paycheck to paycheck. And don't get me started on this nonsense about voting habits. All white people vote for the guy with the R beside his name? Lady, have you met the wine-sipping, Prius-driving crowd with their "I'm with her" bumper stickers? Half of them couldn't pick a Republican out of a lineup if you paid them. Democrats are their gods, and they worship at the altar of performative wokeness. But oh, here comes the kicker. Decades of pandering to the black vote. The Democrats show up every election like an ex promising they've changed, only to ghost the black community the second they get what they want. They're like a bad Netflix sequel, predictable, lazy, and somehow still getting greenlit. And yet, like clockwork, every 4 years, the same tired promises roll out. They're gonna fix your neighborhoods, they say, while doing absolutely nothing except taking new headshots for their campaign posters. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 4 elections in a row, come on now. But finally, some folks are waking up. Thank God for that. By 2028, we might actually see fewer people falling for these political scams. Maybe by then, we'll have a government that isn't just a circus full of clowns juggling fake promises. Who knows? What blows my mind, though, is the white people who are tripping over themselves to be the loudest about racial culture. It's like they're in a competition to see who can apologize the hardest for sins they didn't commit. Newsflash, nobody asked you to be the main character in someone else's story. Honestly, the idea of these people putting themselves under the shoe is hysterical. They're like toddlers throwing tantrums, but instead of crying about bedtime, they're crying about how oppressed they are while living in gated communities. Make it make sense. But you know what? Let them keep going. By 2028, we'll be watching the sequel to this train wreck with popcorn in hand. And trust me, it'll be just as ridiculous as the first act.
I think Musk's days as an influencer in Washington are probably numbered.
Okay, so I'm going to state right off the bat that this lady is a bit of an idiot. Now, let me just break this down real quick. Yes, Musk and many other Republicans on X, I'm on X quite a bit, have stated, you will be primaried, you will be primaried, you will be primaried. They have every right to say that, because the next elections are in 2 years. But what they're talking about is mostly Senate. If you try and stop Trump's administration, if you try and stop him from putting his cabinet together, whoever votes against this cabinet, you will be primaried in 2 years. And I absolutely 100% agree with that. So where she's getting a little cocky here and getting a little big-headed is thinking this is what we're going to have for the next 4 years. We have some good Republicans still in the House. What she's referring to is some rhinos, not 38 of them, but that's what a Democrat thinks a good Republican in the House is pretty much, well, a Democrat in Republican clothing. So over the next 4 years, if she's truly thinking that they're going to be able to keep putting up fights like this in the House, and I'm not just saying Trump should just be able to put whatever he wants through. I mean, if it makes sense, it makes sense. Put it through. But they're going to try and do the same thing that they did to him in 2016 and give him a hard time in every single policy he tries to put through. Keep in mind, Trump can exercise executive orders. If I'm correct, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe an executive order lasts for I'm thinking about, it's when Senate's not in session, but Trump can still make decisions without them. So somebody, again, give me the wording for that. I think that's the 2 year thing. But either way, Trump can get his way for the next 2 years, and he will get his way. He'll stomp on them if he has to. And then whoever has been voting against him will be primaried. And I absolutely agree with that. So people like this are in for a shock and a half.
Okay, let me start by saying that this lady isn't just an idiot. She's a full-blown exhibition of ignorance in human form. Now, let me break this down for those playing the home game. Musk and other Republicans have been hammering the phrase, "you will be primaried" on X. I mean, seriously, how many times do these people need to repeat it before it gets through that thick skull of hers? Yes, elections are in 2 years, and guess what? They have every damn right to say it because it's literally how democracy works. What they're mostly talking about is the Senate. If you block Trump's cabinet picks or his administration, you'll be primaried so fast your head will spin like a cheap carnival ride. And honestly, good. People like her thinking they're untouchable is exactly why the system needs a wake-up call. Now, here's where her cocky, oversized ego makes a grand entrance. She's out here acting like this chaos is the standard for the next 4 years. Oh, sweet summer child, let me break it to you gently. No one cares about your delusions of grandeur. The House still has some good Republicans, even if they're outnumbered by the rhinos. Republicans in name only. Yeah, I said it. These so-called good Republicans are just Democrats cosplaying in red ties. And if she thinks this little circus act will fly for 4 more years, she's about to learn the hard way. Trump's not exactly the type to sit back and let people block his policies. If it makes sense, it goes through. If it doesn't, well, tough luck. But let's be honest, the opposition isn't fighting because the policies are bad. They're fighting because it's Trump. Oh, and let's not forget executive orders. Trump can and will use them if needed. This lady might want to open a history book or even a dictionary before she starts talking about politics again. It's embarrassing to watch someone trip over their own ignorance while trying to sound smart. Whether it's a 2-year thing, an executive order, or a cosmic intervention, Trump will bulldoze through these clowns. And he should, because watching them scramble like headless chickens is entertainment gold. So yeah, by the time the next election rolls around, anyone voting against Trump will be primaried straight into obscurity. Mark my words, the shock they're in for will be enough to power a city grid. And frankly, I can't wait to see it. So keep underestimating Trump and his supporters, lady. It'll make your inevitable meltdown even funnier to watch.
Come on over, respect your fellow neighbors, and it'll be all good.
As I've explained in some previous videos, I'm Canadian. This woman's an embarrassment. She's an idiot. I apologize on behalf of Canada. Normally, I don't even like to play clips that are that long. That was like 2 minutes and 40 seconds. But when I found this one, it's like, you know what? We got to use this. What an idiot. Okay, so first of all, this is the second time now that I've played you guys a clip of somebody saying if you voted for Kamala or if you voted Democrat, just, you know, please wear a little pin so we know that you're a good person. We don't need any MAGAs here. You know, Canada's not quite as liberal as they make us sound. Just certain provinces are. I'm willing to bet, because I've seen another video of hers and there was a ton of snow. So I'm willing to bet that she's in British Columbia, which is like the Canadian version of California. And coincidentally, they're right beside each other. This woman is a nutcase. When I've seen some of her other videos, the look in her eyes, she's got so much hatred towards Donald Trump. And she lives on this side of the border. Now, you know, maybe if I look at it in a mirror way, I love Trump. And I was just as passionate about getting him elected. That's all I was doing was Trump videos before the election. And I'm Canadian. And I was pushing for Trump. I knew how important it was to get him in office, not just for the States, but for the entire world. Now, I can't believe that she actually recorded this video, looked at it and said, yeah, perfect, upload. She is treating Americans like they are uncivilized animals. When you come over here, make sure you say your pleases and your thank yous. You can't say huh anymore. And it's not really huh. It's more like uh-huh. That's what I know about you guys in the States. And the cool thing is I know uh-huh can mean you're welcome. And it could also mean F off. So you guys should give her a nice big uh-huh. You yeah, the word A does pop out of us every now and then. Not as much as you guys think, though. It's kind of like we're made fun of with that. But she's an idiot. We have them here as well. There's not as many here as you think. There's just as much as there is out there. People are fed up with liberals out here. We've had enough of them here as well.
Let me just say, this woman is a walking, talking advertisement for mandatory IQ tests before hitting record. Seriously, I apologize on behalf of Canada, but only a little, because even we don't want to claim her. Normally, I don't play clips this long, but this gem was too good to pass up. It's like finding a dumpster fire, but instead of extinguishing it, you grab some marshmallows for the show. This is the second time I've heard someone with her level of brain fog suggest that if you voted Democrat, you should wear a little pin, like a badge of honor. Lady, who exactly are you trying to impress with this level of stupidity? Nobody wants to wear your imaginary "I'm better than you" sticker, especially when you're acting like a real-life Facebook comment section. And those maggots she's so pressed about? Sweetheart, if you can't handle differing opinions, maybe stay off the internet and go knit a scarf in your echo chamber. And about Canada, yeah, we're not as liberal as people like to think. Some of our provinces, sure, but mostly it's just British Columbia, aka Canada's answer to California. Coincidentally, they're neighbors, like two drunk uncles at a family reunion shouting nonsense across the table. This woman fits right in. I've seen her other videos, and let me tell you, the hatred in her eyes when she talks about Trump is almost impressive. It's like she spends her nights whispering insults into a Trump voodoo doll while listening to California Dreamin' on repeat. She actually filmed this rant, watched it back, and thought, yes, this is my magnum opus. Imagine having that much confidence in such a bad decision. She's treating Americans like they just crawled out of caves, teaching them basic manners as if they've been raised by wolves. Say please and thank you. Oh really? Thanks for the groundbreaking advice, Karen. Meanwhile, we Canadians say every now and then, but at least we don't weaponize politeness like it's some moral high ground. And let's not forget her weird superiority complex. She's probably the type to sip her overpriced almond milk latte while lecturing people on how to live their lives, blissfully unaware of the irony that she's become the exact stereotype she claims to hate. Honestly, Americans should send her a collective F off, and she wouldn't even get it. She'd probably write an essay on how it's a microaggression. We have idiots here in Canada too. Shocking, right? But even we're fed up with the liberal nonsense she's spewing. If smug ignorance were a currency, this woman could single-handedly pay off the national debt. But alas, here we are, stuck with her and her endless parade of bad takes. Thanks, internet. Truly, thanks.
Garbage bags and dumping trash on themselves and saying that's how they're going to go vote. Tell me again how you're not in a cult.
Well, first of all, that's not the signs of a cult. A cult has more of a hive mind mentality, and conservatives do not have a hive mind mentality. We just have common sense. The garbage truck thing was ingenious. You guys just kept giving Trump ways to keep marketing himself during his campaign. It was awesome. But yeah, some of them were putting garbage bags on, like a shirt. Nobody was putting trash on themselves. That's a little bit ridiculous. If anybody has the cult mentality, it's the liberals. And sadly enough to say, again, how I brought it up in the past, about the use of medication and therapy on that side, it's pretty safe to say that liberalism is pretty much a mental illness at this point. All right, guys, I got one more for you. As usual, like, comment, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Norm, well, first of all, calling this a cult is like saying pigeons are secretly plotting world domination. Completely idiotic. A cult has structure, hive mind obedience, and creepy chants. Conservatives, we just have the basic ability to read, think, and not fall for every virtue signaling trend that drifts down the TikTok sewer. The garbage truck thing, genius. While the liberals were out there crying into their overpriced lattes, Trump was out here turning your nonsense into free advertising. You practically gift wrapped him a PR win and threw a bow on top. Bravo, truly next level stupidity. And let's clear this up. No one was strutting around in actual trash. That's your imagination running wild, fueled by too much kombucha and not enough reality checks. Conservatives don't do that. You want trash behavior? Check your nearest liberal, peaceful protest where setting things on fire is just another Tuesday. Now, if anyone's guilty of cult behavior, it's your side. Liberals follow follow their talking points with the same blind loyalty as lemmings walking off a cliff. Therapy sessions, emotional support peacocks, and blaming the weather on conservatives. Classic liberal nonsense. Honestly, liberalism should come with a prescription warning. Side effects may include delusion, overreaction, and chronic victimhood. Let's just call it what it is. Liberalism isn't a political stance. It's a full-blown mental illness. A hive of progressive drones buzzing around while solving nothing, achieving nothing, and whining about everything. Truly groundbreaking stuff. Alright guys, I'll leave you with that truth bomb. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and maybe recommend this video to your liberal cousin who still thinks banning straws is saving the planet. I'll see you all in the next one, where we'll tackle more of this lunacy and laugh at it together.
Now, I'm sorry, but that's just hard to believe that that's, about 100 coincidences that just happened to take place. He used my video and spoke on the exact same TikTokers that I chose to speak on with the exact same topics, and even brought up things that I said personally about myself and related to it. Like all of a sudden now he's Canadian, even though his YouTube page clearly says that he's in the States. The thing is, again, to Anonymous Conservative, is you have more than double the subscribers that I do. But for some reason, I seem to get a lot more views than you. So this video should reach a lot of eyes over a period of time. It might not right away, but over a period of time it will. You are directly lying and misrepresenting to over 5,000 of your subscribers. And they deserve to know. Nobody wants a dishonest content creator. In fact, you're so dishonest, you've actually even monetized these videos that I'm talking about. So you're collecting ad revenue, or at least you're attempting to, collect ad revenue off of work you didn't do, that you stole, which I'm pretty sure is in direct violation of YouTube's policies. And on another note, you know that little piano roll that you hear, at the end of my videos? Because I know, obviously, I'm sure you're going to see this video because you tend to come do your shopping here. That little piano roll that you hear at the end of that video that leads into the drums, that's my track. I produced that track back in 2009 when I used to make hip-hop beats, and it's copywritten. So if I wanted to be a real jerk, I can slam you with about 3 to 4 different copyright strikes right now because you have them on your channel without my permission. But I'm going to leave the ball in your court. I stayed quiet for a month ago. I stayed quiet 3 weeks ago. Sorry, after yesterday, directly stealing my talking points, and the worst part is I went into your comment section to see if anybody would notice. And I see one of your commenters state, hey, great commentary. You make so much sense. And you actually have the nerve to respond. Oh, I appreciate that. You're a thief. I want my stuff off of your channel. I was willing to let the other 2 videos sit there. But no, I want all my stuff off your channel. Matter of fact, you should do the right thing and take Red Channel stuff off your channel as well. And even just saying, you have a lot of stuff on your channel that shouldn't be there. I'm willing to bet if I continued investigating your channel, you don't have any content that's yours. You're a thief. To the rest of my viewers, I'm sorry you guys had to sit through this, but I do know a lot of you guys are subscribed to this guy. I can see for people that have open subscriptions, I think my subscription, or subscriptions. I think my subscriptions are open as well. You can see who I subscribe to. Coincidentally, a lot of us subscribe to the same people, and I'm subscribed to Anonymous Conservative. I'm going to keep my subscription too, so I can keep an eye on them. And I see that quite a few of you guys are as well. So I just want to make you guys aware of that. I mean, if you really want to see the true content, just go straight to the source, myself, and find the other people that have made the actual content that this guy's hijacking. We will be back to our usual scheduled programming as of tomorrow. God bless you guys all. Like, comment, subscribe if you guys are new. And I'll see you guys in the next one.